Hello, Real Estate Roundup. With Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah every Sunday from 12:30 p.m. to 1 p.m. PST on Bolly 92.3 FM.
Hello, Bay Area. Happy Sunday. Welcome to the Real Estate Show, where we dive deep into real estate, finance, and investment strategies. I'm Nagaraj Annaiah, a realtor in the Bay Area, bringing your expert insights to help you navigate the market. Today, we have an exciting discussion covering EB-5 investment visa, HELOC loans, and investment lines of credit line. Today, I have two distinguished guests, Sid Chary, attorney at law, who will break down the legal aspects of EB-5 investment visas, and Dan Lee, vice president at California Bank and Trust, San Jose, who will share financial strategies to fund your EB-5 investment and real estate ventures. Hello, guys. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing really good. Hello, welcome to the show, Dan.
Yes, hello everyone.
Yeah. So listeners, let's start with what is EB-5, because a lot of people are on H-1B and would like to understand how does this EB-5 works and why it is really needed.
Sure.
Yeah.
So an EB-5 is a green card application, one of many ways to get a green card in the US. And this one is particularly appealing to a lot of people on H-1Bs now, especially Indian nationals, is because, the wait times are extremely long for a lot of Indian nationals on different visa categories, whereas the EB-5, for the most part, is current, depending on where you invest the money. So an EB-5 is an investor green card. You need either $800,000 or $1,050,000 to invest into a project, or you can start your own. So if you're investing into a project, it's known as a regional center. And if you are doing your own, it's known as a direct investment. The investment amounts for the direct investment, which is you kind of creating your own business or partnering with someone, those are known as direct investments, like I said, and the investment amount really just depends on where the project is located geographically, and that will determine whether you are at the $800,000 threshold or you need to go up to the $1,050,000. Both of those numbers are minimums, so obviously you can invest more. You're not limited to only $800,000. You can obviously invest more than that, but that is the minimum.
Okay. Let me give you the numbers, Sid. Like listeners, if you have any questions on the Bay Area real estate, anything on the immigration related, and anything on the loans related, all the experts are in today in a live today. We are live in a Bolly 92.3. All your immigration related has been solved, and anything on your mortgage related has been solved, and anything on the real estate, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877-BOLLY-92, 877-BOLLY-92. Myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm talking to Sid Chary and Dan Lee from Cal BT. So go ahead, Sid.
Yeah. So, like I was saying, there's basically two avenues to do it. And this really just depends on the investor's perspective. Do they want to be involved in a day-to-day project and essentially running your own company, or are you more hands-off and you have a job that's taking up a ton of your time, you don't know where to invest, or you just honestly want to be a passive investor? Then you would probably go with a regional center. There's a ton of regional centers out there. I mean, obviously, if you do a simple Google search, you'll see advertisements for various regional centers all over the country. And they generally vary from, large commercial developments to horse racing tracks. There's all sorts of regional centers that you can invest in. So it's very important to pick the right one. And that's, a crucial part of the investment. Obviously, an investment is defined as, money being placed at risk. That's how the government defines it. So there is going to be an element of, am I going to get my money back, right? And proper due diligence and financial analysis will kind of guide you to pick a regional center that you're comfortable with.
Yeah, I think, always the EB-5 is a risk which involved in. But now the question is, where do we get a money for the EB-5 investment? If you already have your primary residence, Dan Lee is the expert. Dan Lee, like for the HELOC loans, what are the programs do you have right now, and what are the rates that are running right now on the HELOC?
Yes. So the HELOC is basically a home equity line of credit. You get equity in your home and you want to get it out for whatever reason. Could be for EB-5 for investment, or you can just do, some people they do home improvement, or they put in real estate. They buy the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth home using the equity in their current home. And
Okay.
as you know, in the Bay Area, home prices are very expensive, and people they sit on a lot of equity. So the HELOC right now we are offering a promotion. With the promotion right now is about 6.25% for HELOC. Usually the HELOC is about 9% or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this 6.25 is unheard of. So it's a great promotion right now for you to get the money out of your home, do whatever you want.
Okay. So basically, if you have already bought the house and home has appreciated,
Yep.
your money from your home, like basically 400, 500, it depends on the appreciation. Again, pull it from there, you can invest it on an EB-5. Wow, it works out so well. Like, because basically it is like, again, I think let's talk to Sid on that, understand what kind of investments are like, because always the investments are in risk, right? So it, as Sid was saying, is one is a regional centers and is a direct investment. So listeners, if you have any questions on this, what we are talking about, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92. Anything on your real estate, anything on your immigration, and anything on your mortgage related. This is the only show where we talk about everything today. So you can give us a call. So Sid, going on to this investments, right? Like it can be a direct investment or a regional centers. And we were discussing about doing a businesses also. For example, if you can create a 10 jobs, the
That's
business.
exactly right. That's exactly right. So the whole crux of the EB-5 is for economic development, right? Whether you're doing a regional center or you're doing a direct investment. If you're doing a direct investment, this is, opening up a restaurant. This is opening up a daycare. You can do anything you want as long as you're creating 10 jobs, right? These 10 jobs, now the job creation requirement is different between a regional center and a direct investment. Direct investment, you have to create 10 full-time jobs. And you have to create them for at least 2 years. But it's interesting. I want to go back to the money, where you can get the money from for the investment, right? So you can 100% use a home equity line of credit to do this, because the rule, a broad general rule, is that if you're taking a loan for a direct investment, you can do that as long as the funds are not like collateralized against the actual project, right? So if you're wanting to buy a restaurant and you go and take a loan from the bank and the collateral is the actual restaurant, you cannot use that for EB-5.
Okay.
HELOC you can do because it's on your personal residence and you're pulling the cash out of there and you're then taking the cash and investing it into something else, right? So it's two separate things. So that you are able to do.
Yeah, that's a good thing, right? Like basically one home has appreciated and basically you're pulling a money from there and investing in your businesses. Not in business, it can be a direct investment or a regional centers.
Yeah, sure.
And the direct investment can be, as you said, it can be a preschool or it can be basically anything else, restaurant business also. But now let's go back to Dan. Dan, like there is one more called the rates for the HELOC qualifications, right? What are the qualifications you're looking for a HELOC? Like basically,
Yeah.
home has to be appreciated.
And the HELOC, I just want to mention that the HELOC is not only applicable to your primary residence, but it can also be rental property as well. So this is the beauty of California Bank and Trust. Not a lot of banks they do for rental properties, but we are one of the very few that will do the HELOC on your rental properties as well, when you have tenants in there.
Yeah.
Okay. And now for the qualification, it will be the same for just like a normal mortgage, 2 years tax returns, 2 recent pay stubs, and your 2 months of bank statements. And for the property, just the insurance, property tax, and HOA statement, if you have HOA. That's all.
Okay, now going back, this is just myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm talking to Sid Chary and Dan Lee. So both are, Sid Chary is an immigration expert, Dan Lee is the vice president of CalBT. We are discussing about how to expedite you getting your EB-5, or what are the ways to come out from your H-1B, how many days you keep sticking onto your H-1B, what are the ways you can get your green card faster. So this show is all about education for you guys. So going back to Sid now. Sid, and listeners, if you have any questions, our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92, 877 Bali 92, and we are live. And if you have any questions on immigration, anything, you can give us a call. So Sid, going back to this, right? Like once you invest, how long basically first question is like, do you need a 1 million completely to start EB-5, or like we can do it in a basically 400, 600, 400K, 600K, we can do the divisions like this. For example, if somebody doesn't have 1 million, what they can do right now?
Sure. So that's a great question. 800,000 or 1,050,000. It's a good large amount of money. So the statutes basically read you have to invest or be in the process of investing. So you are able to do a partial investment on the EB-5. Yeah. So you are able to do that.
So basically, you can divide your money, like maybe you can do a 400K investment now, and maybe in a less than a year or 1 year, if you can arrange a 600K, you can basically divide your partitions like that.
Yeah, ideally you should, if you look, the thing is, if you're getting money from certain countries like India that the banking system takes a while to, transfer the money out, whatever. And this is pretty common, not only for India, but lots of other countries have these restrictions. It's just transferring a large sum of money like that is time consuming, right? But if you're in a situation where we have the new administration in office right now, and we don't know what's going to happen, right? There's a lot of talk of this, the gold card or whatever, there's that. And then President Trump is thinking of getting rid of the EB-5 program now. So it might be beneficial. And we're seeing a lot of people calling our office saying, can we do partial payments so we can at least get the application in and then go from there? And the answer is yes. It just obviously varies situation to situation. And client to client, but the short answer is yes, you can.
Yes. So now going back to Dan, how long does it take for you for the HELOC to process? It happens in 2 weeks, 3 weeks? How long does it up to overall application?
Usually, it's between 3 and 4 weeks since we have everything, 3 to 4 weeks. So it's way faster than a mortgage, and it's easy to do. And another thing, if you want speed, then I will recommend the investment line of credit. We can do that within 1 week.
Wow. What is that investment line of credit? I would like to understand more on that.
So for home equity line of credit, the HELOC, the collateral is your home or your rental property. But for the investment line of credit, your collateral is your stocks and bonds in your investment portfolio. What you need to do is just transfer whatever brokerage account you have with Fidelity, Charles Schwab, transfer over to California Bank and Trust. We evaluate your stocks and bonds, and we will lend it up to 80 or sometimes more than 80% loan to value.
So how are the rates for the investment line of credit?
Yes, we have a promotion right now, so the rate is very good at 5.5%. 5.5%. Yes.
That's a great rate. So basically, if you have somebody have the portfolio of 1 million, 2 million, don't even sell the stocks. Basically, you can pull it from transfer to CalBT and get it for 5.25%. That's like it's a great thing. Now, listeners, let me take a quick break, and don't go anywhere. We'll come back and we'll discuss more about the immigration on the HELOC and other stuff. Let's take a quick break. Okay, welcome.
Bay Area home buyers and sellers, listen up. Why work with multiple people when you can get everything in one place? Meet Nagaraj Annaiah, the top realtor and mortgage expert, your one-stop solution for buying, selling, and financing your home. Want the best deal when buying, the highest return when selling, the lowest mortgage rates? Nagaraj Annaiah has you covered. Don't take risks with your biggest investment. Call Nagaraj Annaiah at 858-880-4577 for a free consultation today.
Welcome back to the show. Myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and today I have Sid, immigration expert Dan Lee, the Vice President of CalBT, and we are discussing about the fast ways to get your green card and the ways to get your HELOC too. It's a one show, but covers all the plenty of the things. We are live on a Bali 92.3, and if you have any questions, you can still give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92. I tell you, no other show gives you this much of wealth of information. All the experts in one show. No way. So Sid, coming back to the what are the, like, how long this EB-5 process take? Does it does it take right now for, let's consider for Indians, how long does it take? And it depends on the rural and urban, how does that works?
Sure. So the EB-5 process is going to take generally, I can run through the steps with you. I think that would make the most sense. So, look, you're looking at, there's generally, if you're in the US, there's 3 stages to an EB-5, right? There's the filing of the actual EB-5 petition, the 526 or 526E if it's a regional center. Then you're looking at filing your adjustment of status, your employment authorization document, and advanced parole. Advanced parole is you can travel in and out of the country while your adjustment status is pending. And so you can do those 2 steps if you're in the US and you're on a valid visa, such as an H-1B. You're able to apply for those 2 things at the same time, and you will get your advanced parole and work authorization prior to getting the EB-5 approved. Okay. And that you're looking at around, I would say, roughly 4 to 6 months after you submit the case to USCIS and after they issue a receipt notice to get the EAD and the advanced parole. In terms of the actual EB-5, that is going to be pending. It takes about 2 years, roughly 24 to 30 months, I would say right now. Obviously, don't hold me to that, but that's the averages we're seeing right now. Things are obviously changing in the immigration landscape with the current administration. So we'll have to monitor that. But you're looking at, from submission, you're looking at, like, we can just say roughly 24 months, right, to get the EB-5 approved.
EB-5 approved. So going back to Dan, right? Like Dan, so one is you said the HELOC stuffs, how are the rates after 6 months? Like, it's again depends on the market conditions for the HELOC, or how is it, Dan?
It depends on the loan to value and your credit score. So usually after the first 6 months, it will go back to the regular rate, and it's as low as 8.5.
Okay. And you can refinance anytime the HELOC, right? It is not
there's no prepayment penalty on your HELOC. You can refinance it anytime, and you can simply just pay it out to zero, because you don't have to pay anything. You just keep it there for emergency fund for future use.
Yeah, I think it's Sid, what are the biggest risks in EB-5 investments, and how can investors mitigate them, Sid?
Yeah, so look, there's a lot of risk involved with EB-5. Like you said, it's an investment. There has to be some sort of risk, but in order to mitigate the risk, you really need to do a lot of due diligence, especially when it comes to the regional centers. The EB-5 regional centers have had, I would say 10 years ago, have had kind of some of them have been fine, some of them have not, and there's been a lot of corruption and financial mismanagement and things. So now all the regional centers, you have to apply through the government to become a regional center, right? That's a separate application. So that in itself does mitigate some of the risk in terms of, you can have peace of mind knowing, okay, it's at least been vetted by the government, if no one else, right? But nowadays, that's generally not enough. You need to really sit down and speak with the regional centers if you're doing it by yourself. If you are not doing it by yourself, we as immigration attorneys cannot give out investment advice, right? We're not licensed to do that. However, we do have resources where we work with people to basically, we work with investment professionals to have basically be the intermediary between the investor and, we get a lot of people that call us and say, hey, I have the money, I'm ready to invest. I just don't know where to invest. Can you advise me? Yeah. Immigration attorneys cannot advise. A lot of them do, but it's a risk that we don't take. And also, I would rather just pass you on to a investment professional that we work with that's very familiar with EB-5s, and they can run you through it, and then you can make an educated decision.
I think, Sid, well said. See, basically, a lot of people complicate the things out there. See, as we discussed about initially, there's a direct investment. If somebody is doing and wants to do some businesses, small businesses, and they see that an opportunity, like for example, they want to buy in a Stockton area, the hotel businesses for 1.5 million or a 2 million, which is a probability of creating 10 jobs. So they can do that. Like basically 50% can, I think the 50% can come from your HELOC and other stuff, and the 50% can be a loan on the business, right, sir?
Yeah, you can do so. Yeah, you can basically take out, if you want to do HELOC and you want to do, if you want that to be 100% of your investment, that's fine too. It doesn't matter. If you have, savings, and then you can basically the EB-5 along with the 10 jobs, the other big thing is you would need to basically source and trace your funds, right? Which is a big thing with EB-5. So sourcing and tracing of funds is basically the government wants to make sure the funds used were obtained legally and they were not obtained through criminal activity. And they want to make sure that you are an investor that doesn't have, you're not, you're not an arms dealer, you're not a drug dealer, something like that, or you haven't gotten, you haven't come across this money through fraud or misrepresentation. So it involves, a deep financial history. So I'll give you like a quick example. If you're going to be investing into a school, right? Doing a direct investment, or you're doing a regional center, either way, you are going to have to go through the source and trace portion of the EB-5, which is, okay, if we take a HELOC, right? 100,000 comes out of there and there's 700,000 that you've gotten from savings. They're going to want to know, they want to see the paperwork for the HELOC. They're going to want to know how you purchased the house in the first place. They're going to want to know, how did you afford to purchase the house? You need the mortgage documents. You'll need employment agreements, pay stubs, tax returns. And on the same thing, if you're doing it through stocks, where did you get the stocks from? Where did you get the cash to, buy the stock? So it's, a deep dive, and generally goes back at least about 5 years.
Right. So listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm talking with Sid Chary, the immigration expert, Dan Lee, the vice president of a Cal Bank of a Trust. So Dan, coming back to you, what are the promotional rates do you have, and what programs are you offering right now, Dan? Let's quickly touch upon it.
Yes, so we have the HELOC already, 6.25. We have the ILOC, investment line of credit, 5.5. We also have, for businesses, we have the SBA loan as low as 6.2 right now for SBA, for business owners who want either to buy real estate or have their business and want to fund their business too. And even just startups too. SBA is for startups as well, if you want to start a business.
Wow.
And that's 6.2 for SBA.
Minimum down payment is needed, like small businesses, if somebody wants to do 15% or a 10%?
Yeah, 15% basically. We can go as 10%, but that will be under another SBA, we call it SBA 504 program. But here we are talking about SBA 7A program.
Got it. So I think for the SBA, like the SBAs can't qualify for the EB-5s, only the HELOC and the investment
line of credit.
Line of credit can be used for the EB-5s, right? So,
and if you need, you need somewhere to park your money, like, for the government to trace it and where the source of it, you can put in a bank, but instead of putting it in the checking where you earn nothing, you can put in a CD, a certificate of deposit, and the bank is having a promotion on the CD as well, which is offering 4.15% APY for the 6-month CD, which is very good right now. Well over 4%, 4.15 for the CD.
Yeah, listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm talking to Sid Chary and Dan Lee. So we discussed about Sid, discussed about the EB-5, and what are the other things you help out, like clients? Are you helping with the EB-1, and what are the expertise on your company, right, Sid Chary?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, yes, we don't only handle EB-5s, but my firm is focused on employment and investment-based immigration. EB-5s, we do obviously EB-1s, EB-2 national interest waivers. We represent a lot of companies that, need to sponsor and file H-1B applications. We do O-1 visas, obviously E-2s are not applicable to Indian nationals, but we do E-2s, which is the investor visa. Anything employment and employment related, investment related with immigration, we handle. We do marriage-based green cards as well. And so that's kind of what we do.
Okay, if somebody wants to reach out, what's the best way to reach out, Sid?
You can reach out. You can call my office directly at 212-960-8365. You can also directly email me, Sid, S-I-D. Yes, my full name is Sid Harth. So Sid, S-I-D @charylaw.com, CHARYLAW.com.
Okay, Dan, if somebody wants to reach out to you on all your promotion, what's the best way to contact you?
Yes, my cell phone number is 415-793-6519, or my email, Dan, DANH .le@calbt.com.
And best way to reach out to me, go to nagarajhomes.com, click on a WhatsApp icon, an easy way to connect with me. Anything on the Bay Area real estate investment. Before you invest, best person to contact is your Nagaraj Annaiah. Even you have, it's a free consultation. You can ask me like, what's the best way to do about this real estate? And you're even like, we're a first time home buyer and you don't know where to start. And most of the things what we discussed today might be a new thing to you. And if you're not following on that, all these recordings will be uploaded on my YouTube channel, Nagaraj Annaiah, and you can go and watch all these recordings. And if you would like to talk to any of these people and would like to understand their contact numbers also, you can call out to me. Thank you so much, guys, and have a great day. Thank you.
Thanks so much.